boy. You know where you're at. Okay, without a doubt. You know where you're at without a doubt. It's the BadCatz Sports Podcast. It is 6 days before the Super Bowl gets popping. West Coast style. Woo, woo. In the building. Get ready for the Crip walking, the Snoop Doggy dogging, the Dr. Dre'ing, the Mary J. Bliging, the Kendrick Lamarin, and a motherfucking Eminem. Okay? Because this Super Bowl might be the lowest rated one ever, but I think maybe the halftime show will bail it out. But you know something? I'm with it. You want to know why I'm with it? Because it's a class warfare, man. It's the haves and the have-nots. It's Hollywood versus the Rust Belt. It's buying teams and throwing money around and putting a super team together against the underdog Cincinnati Bengals. It's David and Goliath. It is Champagne versus Bud Light. It is L.A. versus Cincinnati. Real football fans versus fake football fans. And it's on and popping on Sunday. And let me tell you something right now, so there is no confusion. Right now. I'm so hot in the NBA, I don't even want to rack my brain around another NFL football game.
Smart man.
So this is what I'm doing. I'm betting $200 on the money line on Cincinnati because I want them to win, and I'm going to sit back and see it play out. You like that strategy?
You might sprinkle a couple of prop bets in there. You never know. You got six days.
Let me tell you something. If the devil's talking to me, Birdie, you know I'm going to go with him.
I'm not the devil, all right? So I'm not going to say nothing else.
Hey, what was the famous movie with the devil and the angel on the shoulder?
Oh, I don't know.
Animal House.
Oh,
remember?
I don't remember that part.
Yeah, the devil, when he had the dean's daughter in bed. So you know something? But I'm with it. Ladies and gentlemen, I am here today with my two co-hosts. Okay, in front of me is the man who spits the fire and has got it all on Bayern Munich in a week or so. He is, without question, the undefeated, undisputed, under 21 sports talk champ as far as the eye can see and the ears can hear. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the one, the only, Rowdy Riley Arruda.
Thank you.
Trivia king, too.
And to the left of me, Mr. M.I.A., a.k.a. Mr. Hedge, a.k.a. the Birdman, a.k.a. who knows?
Wow.
Okay? From the mean streets of Hillside Manor Projects to the mean streets of the Club Neptune Marconi Club and being on the right side of the bars at MCI Norfolk for 20 years, protecting and serving you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll give to you the wise one. Birdman.
Thank you. Glad to be
now
back.
that intro was off the cuff and
that was awesome.
At a very high level, right?
Michael Buffer, and you got nothing. He's got nothing.
Michael Buffer ain't got shit on me. It's BadCatz Sports, and God knows what edition. I mean, maybe we should keep a track of it. But hey, let me tell you something. You want to have a good time and kick it with us? Get that Arruda claim there. Get your boys there. We got money in that Super Bowl squares too, and we bought two more. You know.
What do you mean?
We bought squares in a $10 pool too.
Yeah, when we were at Mesa last week.
So we got some action in the game, Brady.
Yeah, no,
right?
I mean,
I'm not crazy about our numbers. I like our fourth quarter numbers.
What's the numbers?
4 and 6, I think, in the fourth quarter. But
4 and 2 in the fourth quarter,
whatever it is. Well, two's not.
No, not so.
I think it's 4 and 6, Mike. Those pools. The reason why the numbers don't kind of matter anymore, like they used to years ago, is because of the 2-point conversion now in play in these games. If you didn't have the 2-point conversion in there, then you'd have the 3s, the 7s, and the 4s, which would be, and then zeros, which would come true to form. But now that 2-point conversion changes a lot of the numbers around, usually after the first quarter. So hopefully, we'll see.
So a mixed extra point, a safety, a 2-point conversion could fuck the whole thing up.
Or a team with a good field goal kicker that kick a bunch of field goals to keep rotating the score. So
I wonder what team that is.
And by the way, take this to the bank too. My man McPherson, Okay? Well, Riley turned me on to him. Remember, he's like super jock when you're a kid. You hit him on the head. Boom, everything's going down a pipe, okay? He is 100 to 1 MVP candidate.
100 to 1.
I'm predicting he's going to be the MVP.
Wow.
Put $10 on it. Win how much?
Pizza money.
How much?
1,000, I think.
1,000,
right?
yeah.
10 to 1.
What?
Wow.
Yeah.
10 to 1, yeah.
Yeah, 10. Yeah, 100 to
100 to
1.
1.
You put $5 on it, you win 500.
Well, you're not going to get that at William Hill. You might
That's
get
a pack of cigarettes.
FanDuel.
Yeah,
down
not
in
yeah.
Connecticut.
$5 not even.
Yeah,
It's less than a pack of cigarettes. Yeah.
So that's what's going down, man.
I already have money on my boy McPherson for this week too. For over 1.5 field goals though.
Yeah,
I feel like that's a lock. I've been riding that for so long. I
been
just feel like
riding
that's a lock. But but like I said before,
They're on to you.
yeah, the Vegas is on to me because the first week it started, it was like plus 120.
Yeah.
The second week it was like minus 110, so it wasn't too bad. Then it was minus 120, so it's like all right, whatever, you losing, whatever. And now it's minus 150, so they're really catching on for the over to start losing money a lot. But whatever, you're still gonna rock with it.
Live at Mesa 21. 3:30 to 5:30. We're going to bring it to you. We're going to have some fun. We're going to have some giveaways. We're going to have some high-end cigars. We're going to have some T-shirts. We're going to do it big. You know how my boys Pete, Danny, Andrew, and the rest of the Susans get down? All right? There'll be pizza wings. And there's all kinds of action. So, man, let's get down and check that out. And by the way, once you're there, right, that hall upstairs is amazing. Right?
Very nice.
And
place,
it's cheaper than 90% of the halls around here. I mean, you can't go wrong. So you might want to rent that for your daughter's christening or baptism or
any type of function.
Or a retirement party, any type of function, man. The place is hot. It's like a New York-style lounge on 21 Lindsay Street, hence the name Mesa, mean home, 21. You dig it?
Sounds like a good time.
Oh, it's going to be a good time. So, Rally, what's going down with you?
Chill weekend, you know, not much no football, but college basketball. I've been paying attention a little bit. Had a little play on Kentucky.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were underdogs away, and they were the number 5 team in the country going into that game.
1 point underdog against Alabama.
Against Alabama. Yeah, and they blew them out. To me, it was just crazy because they were getting points. I know it's away, but you're getting points, 1.5 points.
But they were down really like 10-0.
They were, but then they picked it up and they were like, yeah, we're going to actually start playing. And I do really like that team. I think they're going to be probably a number 1 seed coming out of whatever way. I don't know. 2, the least, I have to be, because they had a really big win against Kansas. But for me, getting points anytime you can against a non-ranked team for them.
Well, Calipari's going to win a national championship soon enough. He's been cheating his ass off for 30 fucking years. I mean, I think he's only got 1.
Well, he's at an advantage and he's at a disadvantage. He gets all the top recruits, but they only stay there for a year.
Yeah, 1 year, yeah.
So, I
Come
mean,
on.
Like our dude Timmy, remember we were talking about him all last year. Like he's staying because he knows when he gets to the NBA, he's not gonna be much because he's like an undersized big man. Where I mean, it like kind of works nowadays, but I don't think they're talking about him being the best player in college this year. And I'm like, sure,
He may be the best player in college, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No, there's nothing wrong with
Enjoy
it. No, nothing at all.
Yes.
But I'm just
Hey, dive into every sorority.
Yeah.
Right. Be you, cuz.
nothing wrong with it. But it's just
Does he have the mustache still?
I don't know. I don't remember.
What position is
Gonzaga, I believe he's a 4, sometimes 5, maybe. But like he's just like when a guy stays that long, especially in college basketball, they know they're not going to make an NBA because right away they're one and dones every year in college basketball, and that's how it is.
Grant Hill. 4
No, I'm
years.
saying recently.
Yeah,
recently,
yeah.
they've all been one and done. So since I can remember.
So, what's going on with PC, Mike? We were talking about this.
They're rocking and rolling, man.
Wow.
15th in the country. They should be
That's
higher.
awesome.
Unbelievable.
That's awesome.
You know, got some help from the transfer portal from a tough Philly point guard, right? And the kid's just buying in.
The kid Mania, I guess.
Every once in a while, the basketball guys will throw a guy like Ed Curley a bone and bring him all kinds of success in a year where he probably didn't expect much.
This is rarefied air for him, though.
Sure,
They haven't had. This is going back to Ernie D.
Yeah.
They haven't had a record like this. So
Sure.
I just hope they're not peaking too early, and I hope this is, what we're going to see.
Always the
translates into
caution.
March.
Always the
Yeah.
cautious one, Birdie.
No,
always.
I just want to see this translate into later on.
Sure. There's no guarantees of that.
No, I understand.
There's no guarantee. So you know something? Instead of waiting for something that might not happen, let's just
seize
ride
the
with
moment,
it. Let's
seize the
just
moment.
ride it.
I think when March comes, we all got to throw a little bit on them to win the whole tournament, right?
Big
Well,
East tournament,
Yeah,
I'll do
no,
it.
the whole March Madness, the
Yeah,
whole
well.
NCAA. Just throw a little bit because they're gonna be like what, probably like a 4 seed,
I tell you what,
3 seed maybe.
Keep winning.
I watched Duke destroy North Carolina.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
that was
wow.
crazy.
I mean, is Duke that good, or is North
I
Carolina
just don't think
that
that North Carolina is that
Wow.
good anymore because
They have fallen
they were last year they didn't even make the tournament. I don't
No,
think.
is
and it's been bad.
Hubert Davis? The
Yeah,
coach
he's got
down
to go.
there
I mean,
now?
that's insane.
From what I-
That's.
But then again, isn't that his last game that he was playing at in North Carolina, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And he was pissed because they booed him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what do you expect?
Oh, well, when you
What do
want,
you-
yeah, but
what do you-
Mike Krzyzewski thinks he's like a deity. You know what I mean?
well, to Duke fans maybe, but like, what do
Yeah.
you expect from your
No,
rivals fans?
I think his presence. Honestly, I'll argue this with. What's he saying?
Somebody.
They're 11, and Bainham is from Largo, MD. He transferred from St. Joe's.
St. Joe's, yeah.
So you're talking about.
Krzyzewski, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who is the most recognizable coach in sports today and over the last 10 years? Please, tell me someone other than Mike Krzyzewski.
Bill Belichick.
No way. Not more. Not
Yeah.
more. No way. No
Recognizable?
way.
Yes.
No way.
The hoodie with the cutoff sleeves
USA
and the hand.
basketball Olympic coach, two Olympics.
I just think that
Probably on the
kid-
same level.
What?
These guys are probably on the same level as far as notability. I mean, they've been. I mean, both of them have been around forever.
I mean, he's built Duke into a brand.
yes, no,
Duke is a brand.
yeah, and they've been around forever. Like we said, I mean,
Yeah.
Krzyzewski been there for 30 years. So I mean, either one of them.
His first team that made noise, he was going to lose his job. I'm going to tell you this top 5. You ready for it? Are you
year is
ready
this?
for it?
What year is
Are
this?
you ready for
What
it?
year
I'm
is it?
ready to
What
drop it.
year
I don't know.
this is?
Look it up.
1980.
Look it up. 84 probably, something like that.
80.
I'm going to tell it to you right now, okay?
I know a couple of the guys. But I don't know the
I'm
whole
going to tell
lineup.
you. Johnny Dawkins.
Tommy Amica.
Phil Henderson.
Who I forgot about
Tommy
him.
Amica. Mark Allery. And Jay Billis.
Oh, Jay
Yep.
Billis.
Bust
I see it right
that.
there.
Yeah.
Bust that.
Yep.
Jay Billis. Yes.
Bust that.
What was the one you
Yeah.
said before? The second guy you said?
Tommy Amica.
Nope.
Phil Henderson.
Phil Henderson. Yeah, I remember him a little bit.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they were in the their first
Yeah.
splash was the final when they lost to Louisville in '86, I believe, against
Never nervous Purvis.
He's been coaching that long, huh?
Yeah.
That's insane. Yeah.
no, I think early '80s, I believe.
But ESPN and Duke was such a perfect match. You want to know why? Small arena, like we talked about, right? The cage, the intimacy of it.
Yes.
And the Cameron crazies.
And they haven't wavered from it.
Yeah.
That's
and the smacking the
still to
floor.
this day, it's still there. They haven't with all the money they've got. They haven't decided to build a new stadium or arena.
Nah, keep it.
Why
That's
would
the
they?
way it is.
Because of everything that you just
keep
said.
It. Listen,
Yeah.
if it ain't broke, baby, don't fix it.
So, speaking of success in college basketball, let's go to the other end. What is going on with Patrick Ewing and Georgetown, man? They are just a complete mess over there, boy. I don't know what happened, but
Academically difficult to get kids into school.
wow.
You know what I mean?
Talk about
I mean, there were schools that play big time basketball that will still maintain an integrity with academically. Do you understand where I'm coming from, bro?
yes, yeah.
All right. But how many schools in football do? I'm going to tell you 2 right now that do.
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame does. They drop. So this is how it works, right? When I was in BC, because I live with 7 degenerate football lunatics, okay? And that was the team who eventually beat Notre Dame, and Notre Dame was number 1 in the country. Glenn Foley was a starting quarterback. They started, I think they finished like 7th or 8th in the country that year, okay? Okay, so, but basketball, I know that baseball had 5 chits, right? I think like basketball had 8 or 9. So it's a 5-point scoring system, right?
Okay.
Right. And you got to get like a 4 to get in, right? So now you got chits. So, okay, this kid needs a half a chit. He's in, right? This is how they work it out. And football, it's even more. But they may get 10 guys that are borderline in and 2 or 3 that have no business being there in. But then that's it. The door shuts. You know what I mean? Notre Dame's probably similar. Stanford is as well, okay? But not many teams in football, maintain that integrity playing big-time football academically. Where in basketball, there are some. I know that BC is one. I know that, obviously Stanford, I think Georgetown is. I think PC can pretty much get anybody they want in there. But there's some schools out there that, that do it a little differently in basketball. And you can, because you only need 7 or 8 guys to win, right?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a much different dynamic.
A deeper bench.
It's a much different dynamic than the world of football. So, but yeah, man, that's my boy Eddie Cooley, my former AAU teammate. Okay, state champion at Central High. They always talk about Providence, the game that never happened. Do you know that they wanted it was you remember Abdullah, right?
Yes.
Kendrick Tavares.
That name, not
right?
That name.
Jumped through the roof.
Okay.
And Ed Cooley. They were the starter call from Providence Central High School, where Marvin Bad News Bonds went.
Yes.
If you think now, today's world, you think about high school basketball in Rhode Island, which is god awful, by the way. You think of Hendricken.
Okay.
Right.
Yep.
Back in the day, you thought of Central.
Okay. Yep.
Right.
Marvin Bonds.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But that's what my father played them. They were number 1 in the country in the Rogers tournament. They lost by 3 points.
Oh, I didn't know.
Okay,
that.
yeah. And the kid Santos who went to PC too. So fast forward to 1988. A bunch of big shots from Forva, New Bedford, Forva, and Providence got into an argument, right? And we had a hookup, and they wanted to rent out the Civic Center, and we would play. Jeff would play Central.
Really?
But the MIA said no.
No, they weren't going to allow it.
You know what I mean? Which is bullshit, because that would have been a great game. And it would have been sold out.
Sounds like
For
it.
sure.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's high school basketball's a lot different back then than it is nowadays.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. But just that dynamic. So I'm happy for him. And let me tell you another thing about Eddie Cooley, too, right? How many guys coach big-time programs in the city that he grew up in? You know how difficult that is to do? Do you know what your freaking chances are?
Probably very, very slim.
Tell me one.
I'd have to start racking my brain. I mean,
Yeah, I mean that is a very unique situation.
Mike Jarvis, I don't know. Was he from that?
But that's not a big-time
No,
program.
but I'm just trying to go with a guy
yeah, probably
that's,
Cambridge. That's close enough. Yeah, sure.
yeah.
I'd give you that. Good job, Brady.
As far as Ed Cooley goes, if you remember, like a couple of years ago, he was under siege too. Remember they started out and they were horrible, and they were talking about getting rid of him. So good for him that he's turned the whole thing around.
Hey, you like country music?
Not really a big fan.
I know
of country music.
I know Riley's mother does. There's a song by Garth Brooks, right? See, this is how country music works. If you listen to it enough, it kind of grows on
like
you
it a little bit.
Yeah.
No, you don't. Not me.
Good call, Riley.
Not me.
I agree with you.
I went to college in North Carolina for 3 years, so I was immersed in it, right? So there's a song called Unanswered Prayers.
Okay.
Thank God for unanswered prayers, right? So all these people that were praying to get rid of Cooley, thank God it didn't happen.
Well, the one last thing about Ed Cooley, I'll say, I did some reading from years ago, and he should be playing the lottery every day, because if you know the story about him with the flight on 9/11 that he was supposed to be on a recruiting trip, and I believe John who's passed away, the former Georgetown coach, I believe he was also supposed to be on a flight that day too, Vegas. But it's just crazy stories.
I'll tell you what, man. It is crazy. We'll be live on Mason 21 for the Super Bowl party. Come there, have a couple of drinks, some pizza wings, and listen to me. You're not gonna stay there all night. Maybe you can swing through, stop by, do your thing. We go. I want the Arrudas deep as usual, and we got a lot on our plate, right? But before we go into that, if the pass I saw Tom Brady throw this weekend is the last pass I ever see him throw. It was absolutely
a dot.
Fucking amazing. Okay? Now, Birdie, being a little bit of a pessimist, says, so why was that such a big deal?
Yeah.
I said, because he's on a yacht that's probably 30 or 40 feet higher, at least, than a jet ski below. The jet ski looks like an ant in the ocean, right? It's a little windy, and the yacht's probably going 30-something miles an hour at least. The jet ski's probably going 30 miles an hour. David Beckham, right? His kid's on the back of it, right? You know, big surprise that, you know.
Yeah.
And Tom Brady throws the ball. Throws the ball to the kid, hits the kid right in the chest. In stride, knocks him off the jet ski. The kid catches it, and he was on the back of it. Oh. Unbelievable.
Tom Brady, anything Tom Brady does should not surprise you.
Nope. Golden Gloves Friday night, big night for young Mikey Goodrow.
I thought it was Saturday.
Birdie, stop.
Am I losing my mind? I thought it was the 12th, Mike. Is it Friday?
I think it's Friday. Is it Friday?
I think it's Friday, too.
Is it Friday? Okay. I'm losing my mind.
We'll find out.
For some reason, I thought it was the 12th.
We go to Mikey Goodrow's Facebook page and see. It's there.
I'll have to look it.
I know they had Golden Gloves this weekend, but I didn't know what night it was.
Cynthia Basel Casa, thanks for the pork chops. Your daughter's mad at me again. Tell her to give me a call. Mikey Goodrow right there.
They had some fights this weekend. Like I said, I saw some
empty building.
Really?
Yeah,
that's not good.
That's not good. But young Mikey, and we will be ringside, Birdman, and I think we may have Surf Arruda. What'd she say?
Absolutely.
Why now? I don't know. But maybe invite Surf and Riley with us or Lips. Have you talked to Lips yet?
No, but I will be calling them this week. I didn't have any conversation, misconnection this week.
Brady, I think it's time that we get you out of that flip phone and into some type of electronic monitoring device.
I'm in the Jerry Perry's got one too, so I'm not alone. Last time he showed me one.
But the Golden Gloves are a great environment. Go down there and support Paul Morissette. He's been doing it for over 40 years. He was wonderfully entertaining on our podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
But most importantly, Mikey Goodrow, because supposedly he's got a fight on his hands, and I'm very, very surprised that he does. But now knowing that the guy's 26 years old, has been fighting for a while, now I understand it. I couldn't see anybody close to his age experienced enough to handle him in that. But he decided to go into the open division. And you know, it's 18 and up. It's 18 to like 40, I guess, right? So
he might not have got a fight if he didn't go into that division.
Yeah. But so it's going to be interesting to see. A lot of pressure. That's what I'm worried about with boxing. I'm worried about pressure, right? And I'm worried about bogus referees.
Judging, yes.
All right. Bogus referees. That's what I'm worried about.
How they do the scoring in this whether it's the Golden Gloves or whether it's the AAU event that he was in Shreveport. So yeah, that's something to keep an eye on. But we'll be there watching.
And trust and believe, I will be fucking terrorizing judges if it goes the wrong way. Okay? Have the bail money ready. Have the lawyer on speed dial. Because if they fuck this kid, there's going to be problems.
Be hell to pay.
He's a good boy and he deserves it. And we'll be down there supporting him as we always do. Riley, you almost took a bite out of the Pro Bowl, but you did it. And if you did it, you would have won. Tell us about it.
I was too far away to even bet it, but I just watching like that game on my phone. I was like, why? Like, I don't know. I loved the Pro Bowl growing up because they kind of played it, but not as much as they used to before my generation. And then during when I was growing up and all my favorite players are playing, it was good. Even up until a few years ago, it was pretty decent. Yeah. And now watching it yesterday, it was terrible. It was like watching me and my friends play football in 7th grade. Two-hand touch. As soon as you touch them with two hands, they blow the whistle. I just didn't understand it. I absolutely loved that Micah Parsons came running over and he rocked one of the receivers. They didn't rock him, but he hit him pretty decently hard for a Pro Bowl game. He hit him pretty hard, and I absolutely loved that. And then, but Mac Jones broke out a big run. But right before he broke the run out, they barely touched him with 4 hands from 2 guys. And then they blew the whistle, and after they blew the whistle, he got completely free and ran for like 60-yard touchdown. But they blew the whistle so early. They did that so many times.
He looked like a goober.
Yeah, it was so stupid though. Just the amount of times that they blew the whistle so early before the play even got out of bounds it was just dumb. But the over/under was at 90 and a half going into halftime, and I was like, "There's no way this game goes to 90." And they only went to like 72, 74, which is still a ridiculously high-scoring game, but 90 was just too high. I didn't understand that.
So that game was in Orlando, I believe.
Or Vegas.
Oh, Vegas. Oh,
Vegas,
you're right.
yeah.
You're right.
Because, again, I didn't think Mac Jones should have won. I think Derek Carr should have went over him. I thought there was plenty of other guys because they were making fun of Derek Carr because he was right down the street from the Pro Bowl and Mac Jones gets called before him. But the whole thing is just so stupid. The way that the players get invited, but they don't go. So they bring in these A-tier guys.
But does that count as a Pro Bowl, maybe?
Yes.
See, that's fraudulent.
It's like
that's fraudulent.
So put it this way:
Mac Jones wasn't a Pro Bowl quarterback this year.
No, he wasn't. To me, he shouldn't even have been in the top 4, 5, 6, nowhere near it. But Tom Brady has 15 Pro Bowls. You want to guess how many he's actually played in?
I'm gonna say maybe 5.
Yeah.
2. He's played in 2 Pro Bowls out of 15. So he has those 15 Pro Bowls. He got one this year as well. Same thing with Rodgers. Rodgers got one this year. Rodgers was actually the starter this year. It doesn't matter if he's a starter or not, but he was a starter but didn't even play. So they voted him as the starter but didn't even play. So you get the Pro Bowls even if you don't go. And then the other guys they're called alternates where they're on the waiting list. So say Devontae Adams dropped out. That's how CeeDee Lamb got in. And then whatever the other receiver dropped out, that's how Hunter Renfrow got in. So Hunter Renfrow was
that distorts the record when most pros thought it was an honor to get a free trip to Hawaii for their family when they weren't making as much money.
I agree.
That fucks the whole fucking evaluation thing up.
I agree.
So that Pro Bowl thing, I would think that the status would come more from being named All-Pro rather than Pro Bowl. Is that how it works, Riley?
Yeah, it depends who you talk to. The players love being voted in Pro Bowl. Joe Mixon was really, really happy about being voted in his first Pro Bowl. He didn't go obviously because he plays for the Bengals, but the players think it's a high honor because it's the fans recognizing you as the best in your position. Sure, I don't agree with some of the selections. Like, I don't understand how Mac Jones eventually got in. I don't understand how this guy Frank Clark got in. He had 4 sacks all season. And he was playing edge rusher, but the fans are acknowledging you as a top 3 quarterback in your conference. Like, that's got to have some kind of merit. Whereas the All-Pro, it's the experts are picking you as the best player in your position for that year. So both of them take accountability, and All-Pro is definitely more harder to get because even Tom Brady, he doesn't have 15 All-Pros. He has 15 Pro Bowls because almost every single year he played, he was a Pro Bowler and should have been every year he played. But All-Pro, maybe he wasn't the best quarterback there. Sure, he was definitely the second or third, but maybe he wasn't. So that's why All-Pro doesn't come as much, but the Pro Bowl is still held high. But even like Deion Sanders said, he said, when I used to play, we used to go down there and play fully hard because we wanted to show that we deserve that. And now the players just think it's a given.
If I'm Bill Belichick, the last thing I want him is thinking he's a Pro Bowler or getting caught up in that fucking tomfoolery.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
because Mahomes,
I want him chasing that.
Yeah, because Mahomes could think it's a given because honestly, it kind of is a given. He should be a Pro Bowler every year, but you still have to earn it. Like, if you don't play that well and you have a down year, say you throw 15 interceptions and only throw 3,000 yards, you shouldn't get voted in just because your name. Like, you need to do it. And I don't know. Sometimes the players just don't think it's that good, but it was just hard to watch. And I didn't understand how they could bet it, but that's what it is.
So you didn't pull the trigger?
No, I didn't, just because I didn't.
Smart man.
I just couldn't trust the game. They're playing two-hand touch.
Be honest with me. Is your mother listening right now?
Yeah.
All right.
Wait, hold on. Who do you think has the most Pro Bowls?
The most?
Yes.
Let me take a wild guess and say, well, we know it's not Tom Brady by what you just. Although if he's got 15, it may be him then.
Manning.
Who's played? Yeah.
Manning is number 2.
Somebody that's played a.
Manning is number 2.
Brett Favre?
No.
Somebody that's played a lot. 20.
Brady is number 1. He has 15.
Okay.
But right under him is Manning with 14. Bruce Matthews with 14. And then, Tony Gonzalez also has 14. Drew Brees 13. Jerry Rice 13, which is crazy to have that little when he played for so long. But yeah, it's kind of surprising.
Yeah.
Because I don't understand how Brady missed, he played 22 seasons?
Yep.
So he missed 7 seasons not being a Pro Bowler. The one I can't understand is when he tore his ACL. That one makes sense. Probably the second year as a starter when they went 9-8, so that's 2. But then after that, I don't understand how he didn't make it 20-something times. But whatever.
Yeah, it's not like the Baseball Hall of Fame voting, that's for sure. completely.
To me, it's definitely the worst All-Star game left, just because the NBA All-Star I actually like to watch because they kind of try and they do cool things, and coming down to the fourth quarter, they do try because they want to win money. And then the NHL is actually really cool with the skills that they do. I love the skills. I love the skills competition in the NHL. And then MLB, just watching the guys just the home run derby, and just that's timeless because everyone loves the home run derby and watching who can hit the most home runs. And it's just weird watching the Pro Bowl. It's just like they don't care anymore. It's just like just get rid of it. Just do the skills then.
Yeah, well, it's going to come to that at some point. But like we were saying earlier, I can't really blame these players though. You got too much money invested in your and everything else, and to play that game all out nowadays with the amount of money involved in it, it's just it's not going to happen anymore.
I think one reason why they might not get rid of it is because you can gamble on it, and that's making them more money. You know what I mean? Because like I didn't expect you to be able to, because that just makes no sense. Because it's just so stupid, that game. But it's just making them even more money than what they're doing.
I didn't even come up with a line for that.
It was at 1.5 to the AFC. I don't understand why. I don't understand how, because they're all the best players and doesn't make any sense to me. But it was 1.5 to the AFC, and it was like 68 for the over under, or 62 or 64, something like that.
Do you know what that opening line was for that Pro Bowl? Do you have any idea what it was originally?
0, right?
No, what it started at. What they put an opening under over line. No, not for the spread.
Oh,
for the under over. Take a wild
63.
guess. 45 it started at.
Nah,
I'm telling you,
that's easy money.
What, the over under?
Yes, and they immediately.
Where was that?
I saw this somewhere on Twitter on one of those ESPN.
45?
Originally they opened it, and obviously it must have got adjusted real.
It went
quick.
to 60 something.
Yes, from 45.
Yeah,
so
that's
that
insane.
tells you right away that they knew something was off right away, but. That's how some of these guys bet money, these professional gamblers, by catching a bad number right away and pouncing on it. But
yeah, but I find that hard to believe, man. But where did it happen at?
It was somewhere in one of the Las Vegas books, I believe, or maybe one of these newer. But I heard that was the original. I mean, they could put a line at 45, and it can be out for like 5 minutes and get moved. You know what I'm saying? You've seen crazy stuff happen like that. But for a game like that, when you're going to even put a line out, I mean, you know they're not even playing serious in that game, so. I don't know.
I don't know either. But I know one thing: they gotta get rid of it because it's turned into a folly. Okay, Riley, what's going on in the world of soccer? Are you ready to stand tall and make your fellow favorites lots of money that day, right, brother?
I'm just worried.
No, don't be worried, bro.
But I do. I just think that team is really good. They just they actually played this weekend. They played RB.
Yeah, all right. So you're worried, but not wavering.
No, I'm not wavering. No. Right. I'll be there. I'll be betting too. I saw it right away, and I was like, "Yep, this is what I want to do." But they did play RB Leipzig this weekend. They won 3-2, which I like to see.
I saw that.
I like to see, and people are going to say, "Oh, they didn't win by 2. They didn't win by." Okay, RB Leipzig is a way better team than RB Salzburg is, and they scored 3 goals. That's a good amount of goals against a German team, probably the second best German team in the league, third best German team in the league. Not miles ahead, but they're a lot better than RB Salzburg. So to score 3 goals against them is really good, and Salzburg has a really good attack, so they're going to score a lot of goals. So a 3-2 game is fine by me, and I like to see that because they're putting up the goals, and so far, so good. One thing I don't really like to see is that their starting goalie just had surgery today, and he's their captain, but he said he should be back in a couple weeks. So he might not play that game, but it shouldn't be a huge deal just because their whole defense is really good. But their goalie might not be there, but I think that shouldn't really affect it much. We could see, but I'm waiting. I'm very hyped up for that game.
Yeah, and that is what is on TV, right?
Yeah, it should be because
I want to do Facebook Live for that somewhere. Watch that
Wednesday.
Yeah,
Wednesday. Yes.
How much cash you putting on that, Birdman?
Depends on how much cash I'm going to lose on the Super Bowl first. Or win. So I'll either be chasing or I'll be looking to pile on, one or the other, depending on what happens Sunday.
How's our props for Super Bowl? Birdie's got some props for us. Are you dialed in with the props, my brother?
Yes, I like a few of them so far.
And last but not least, in the wrap-up of the life of Rowdy Riley, I saw one of your cousins in a tutu with Dave and Buster's.
Yes.
Oh, no.
Yes.
What happened there?
So basically, what we did was I told them, like, oh, if it's me and you in the final, we can just, like, wash it, take all our players out, and just... We'll both wear it at different times just because I don't really care to lose to him because I like him. So he did it that time, but I told him, I was like, yo, you got to tell me when you're going to do it because I have to do it the opposite times because we can't do it at the same time. So he did it that time, but next party I'm going to have to do it. So
where's that going to be?
I have no idea yet. I don't know. So we're gonna have to figure that out.
Why didn't they have like?
Who is pressuring you the most out of all?
No
of
one.
them?
No one's even brought it up once. So
Right.
I'm just gonna do it when they're least expecting it and just show up doing it and just own it.
Why didn't they have you do something a little more adventurous, like maybe a bungee jump or
What do you want to kill a prick?
jump out of a plane or something? Or,
I don't know. It's just
I
don't know. I couldn't tell you. It's like I don't know. Like we were at Dave and Buster's and he was just like wearing it and he had those pink thing and a little girl came walking by and she was like, oh, I like your dress and then Eugene's like, oh yeah, that's what happens when you suck at fantasy football. So you get humiliated.
Suck something else.
You get humiliated.
Birdie, where have you been?
Oh, nowhere.
Where have you been?
Nowhere.
I'm answering questions with you. I feel like I'm your publicist, your PR guy, all your homeboys from Hillside Manor. Where's Birdie? Where's Birdie? Where's Birdie?
No.
The boxing show, you left me flat first time ever.
No, Mike.
I mean, what's going on? Are you chasing that girl around again?
No, let's clarify.
That's what your boy Riley said. He goes, "Are you chasing that girl again?"
Let's clarify things. First of all, Friday night we had the ice storm, so I wasn't going anywhere. And then I never got a call back on the Johnny's retirement, so I didn't know if it was going down. So, and the boxing thing, you had Mikey here. I mean, it's not like I had to be here. That was going to be about Mikey and his dad, and you had Paul coming down. So, I will be at the Golden Gloves. I will be at the remote. Yeah. And then if you're going
we got squares down there, bruh.
Yeah, and then if you're going to do a live Bayern Munich, check that out too. So.
Lots of pressure on the young man over there, but he's ready for it.
But he's getting backing though from these guys that are in the know in this. So
yeah, I haven't talked to a soccer player that hasn't liked it yet.
So let me ask you one question on this, Riley, because I'm a greenhorn when it comes to soccer. So I did a little bit of research on Bayern Munich. I saw their record was 16-1-3. I believe.
It's insane, yeah.
Yeah, and their goal differential was through the roof.
It's like I think probably if I had to guess, like plus 30.
But I just want to ask one question now, because I don't know nothing about how this Premier League works or this Champions League. What would the importance of this game be?
So this is huge. So basically, this is we're down to the last 16 teams.
Sure.
So this means that
quarterfinals.
Yeah, the round of 16. So basically, how the Champions League works is every team, so they get drawn against each other. So Bayern Munich got drawn against
Why don't
Salzburg.
you break it down from how many teams from which,
yeah, so
how many teams
in original there's 32 teams.
Okay.
There's eight groups of 4, and then the 2 teams that finish with the most points in the 8 groups of 4 move on to the round of 16.
The breakdown between the Premier, the La Liga, and the rest of them.
So basically, you have to in the Premier League, which is the English league, the French league, all the leagues in Europe. If you finish within the highest amount, which is like the top 4, you make the Champions League, and that's like all of the best teams from around the world. So you have to finish in your own league high enough to make it in. So you have to be high enough, and then
whoever wins this Bayern Munich Salzburg game advances.
Yes, advances.
No, they're gonna play there.
Yeah, so there's 2 games per each thing. But this is the first, we call it legs. This is the first leg of the game. Okay. So this is leg 1 in
and then they'll do the arrogant score. So let's say Bayern Munich loses 1-0.
They're not.
They're gonna go home and they're gonna win 2-0.
Oh, to advance. Cover the loss.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And their goal difference, in the Bundesliga is plus 47. So that means it's absolutely ridiculous. But so this is the first leg of the round of 16. So if they win this,
and we could get really lucky if they, because the thing about Salzburg is they have like a very notorious home field advantage, right?
Yeah.
That's not going to shake up Bayern Munich. They played in front of every arena everywhere possible.
Are they allowing fans in there? Or?
Well, let's hope not, bro.
I don't think so, no.
Let's hope not.
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if half the place is Bayern Munich fans. Anyway, their brand is, they're like the Spurs. They're like, they're like the Steelers. And, they have a culture. They do it all, yeah.
The Cowboys, the Yankees.
Yeah, they're steady. They're steady as shit. I guarantee you, over the last, Messi and those guys went on a run from Barcelona, right? But I would say over the last 10 years, 15 years, they're probably the second most successful franchise in all of international soccer. You would agree with that?
Yeah,
Really?
they'd definitely be up there, 100%. Over the last 15 years, I'd say Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Bayern Munich. Those are the three right there that would be the most successful. They went to 4 Champions League finals in the last 15 years, won 2 of them, lost 2 of them, won a league title 11 out of 15 times.
You're doing the Champions League while your season's going on, too.
Yeah, there's so much.
It's a very layered. Listen, it took me 5-6 years to figure this
So
out.
one more thing about them. This core of a team right here was the same core pretty much minus like 1 player, 2 players that won the Champions League 2 years ago. So they've been there, they've done it before. But this core of the team won the treble, which means they've won every single trophy they are possibly to win that year, which is almost impossible to do. It's only happened like 7 times ever, which means you've won your league cup, the Champions League, and your domestic cup, which is 4 trophies they have to win. Bayern Munich has done that twice. They're one of only 2 teams to ever win the treble twice, which is ridiculously hard to do.
Yeah, it is, and so stay tuned because we go in hard on Bayern Munich versus Salzburg. That's about 8 days away, I think. The Celtics are rolling. How many straight wins? 6 straight wins, I think, right, Rouse?
Yes, I believe so.
Defensive numbers are among the league leaders. Tatum's assists are way up, but most importantly, they are playing with purpose and they are playing with passion. Okay, and let me tell you something. I was very critical of this team, and I said that they were broke, but something happened.
It's a long year.
No, something happened along the way. There was a discussion thing because they are playing much differently than they play now. Don't get me wrong; they still get a little reckless shooting the threes, but Tatum.
Let me ask you a question because you watch these games very astutely. Would you say that the ball movement that's being spread around is one of the main reasons why?
The ball's not sticking, except to Schrader.
And the defense is
the defense is athletic. I mean, Rob Williams is developing. We get a prop bet on his dunks a game. I mean, he had 3 alley-oop dunks in the first 5 minutes of the game, 10 minutes of the game.
Yeah,
him and Smart do it so much where Smart just goes under.
Brown does it too.
Yeah.
Wow.
So let me ask you.
And he goes and gets it.
He gets high up there.
Yeah.
Let me ask you another question. With the trade deadline looming on Thursday.
You took the last door. I'm out.
Okay, I'll save that for later.
Let's hope.
Okay.
The front office helps them at the trade deadline.
Okay.
What do you go out and get?
I go get a veteran point guard. Like Mike Conley from Utah.
Rondo?
Yeah.
Is Rondo?
I mean, his personality is up, but they're not going to get rid of him because Cleveland's rolling.
Did he end up with the Cavs?
And
I know. I'm just saying that kind of player.
He's a team spokesman for Cleveland.
Really?
Like he talks to the press after the games.
You got a lot of younger guys on.
Sometimes he plays, sometimes he doesn't, but they get him there for playoff.
That's not a.
Have you seen Cleveland play yet? Jared Allen's one of the best centers in the league.
And he just got
Kevin Lowe is knocking shit down.
He just got reunited with LeVert. Got traded over there from Indianapolis.
Like I said, it's gonna be interesting. And college basketball, Bruins, all of it. You're gonna lock in on the Bruins.
Yes.
But they're disappointing this year, right? Continuously disappointing.
Actually, the Bruins are a little bit of bad luck because of the conference they're in right now. They haven't played badly, but their conference is so top-heavy. Those teams have been playing so well that they're just stuck underneath those teams. So they haven't really played badly, but they're just jammed up where the teams ahead of them have been playing so well. But you got a lot of games left for the second half, so goaltending will be the key with Tuukka, as always.
Like I said, okay, we're going to dive into the Super Bowl. We're going to do it right now. The Super Bowl is only 6 days away. This is David versus Goliath. This is the haves and the have-nots. This is football fans versus fake fans. This is Hollywood versus the Rust Belt. This is the rich versus the poor. And I'm going with the Cincinnati Bengals. Laugh at me all you want.
No.
I'm riding with the new version of Broadway Joe. You see my man pimping with the jacket on? He's a crazy personality, that kid. And supposedly his sexual exploits are starting to ripple through the internet.
Joe's got to be careful.
A lot of these girls, a lot of these girls are saying what an amazing lover he is.
The problem Joe has is the era with which you are currently in. Unfortunately, it is called the social media era. And luckily for the original Broadway Joe, there was no social media back in the 60s.
Listen to me. Trust me, I know for which I speak. Be very, 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 very careful. You don't have to do anything to be charged.
That's
Be
correct.
very, very, very careful in the company of people with bad character, because it can get really dangerous. You ever heard if you lie with dogs, you get fleas?
And we're all looking at his bank book, that's for sure.
You'll get it right. All right, we got 7 questions, which have morphed into 9. Okay, so 9. So we scored a touchdown, big central point, and kicked a field goal. So okay, we ready to rock and roll.
Yep.
What number you want?
Start off with 7.
7. With the recent accusations in troubles in the NFL, do you think it will affect the future of Roger Goodell's being commissioner?
We got to see how it plays out. It definitely has the potential to. What I did see over the weekend was Hugh Jackson started to recant a little bit on his original claim that he was paid. He started to back off a little bit on that claim. So we just got to see how this all plays out. I believe they've brought in an outside investigation in the NFL, from what I'm seeing, which is probably a smart move because.
Well, who's paying them? Because there's no such thing as an outside investigation if one entity's paying you and another is not.
I understand that, but I think it might look a little bit better for them to bring somebody from the outside in. But no, they're under the microscope.
They should have the Department of Justice do it.
And speaking of the whole mess right now, you just had the Dolphins hire somebody as their coach.
Yeah, saw that.
As we just saw breaking news, the Saints just hired their defensive coordinator, the guy that yelled at Tom Brady yelled at in the sideline during the Saints game. So, and the beat goes on. But I believe Lovie Smith did get hired from the Texans.
He did. And the mystery of Deshaun Watson. At one point, you have to turn away.
Don't know.
I mean, there's a whole season going now.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, how long are we gonna play that game? Okay, Riley, give me the next one.
3.
Number 3. The lockdown quarter for the Rams is who?
Jaylen Ramsey.
Jaylen Ramsey. The question is this: can Jamar Chase win his one-on-one matchup versus Jaylen Ramsey? He's gonna have to for the Bengals to win.
That's your guy, Riley.
I love Chase and I love Ramsey, but one-on-one, it's going to be real tough. The way I can see it happening is if they get the ball in his hands where he's lined up one-on-one, they get a little screenplay for him, because once he gets the ball in his hands, the dude flies, and he just so good yards after catch. So that's the way. But going deep, we've seen Mike Evans beat him over the top, but Mike Evans is like a little, like you don't think he's that fast, but he's that fast. Everybody knows Jamar Chase is fast, so he's going to be playing off him a little bit. But that's the matchup to watch right there. That they need Chase to make a couple big plays.
Chase has to make big plays for Cincinnati to win.
But I think the key on their offense, wide receiver wise, is T. Higgins
bingo.
because Chase is going to be lined up one-on-one with Ramsey. Ramsey's going to shadow him unless he goes on the slot. He might not shadow him. And T. Higgins against the Chiefs had a monster game. He had like 6 catches.
What's T. Higgins MVP prop?
I'll have to look that up. But T. Higgins, he's my favorite.
And they got who's Boyd too? Who's the other
Tyler Boyd, yeah. But if you remember when we played fantasy, I picked T. Higgins almost every single week for fantasy, and he was so good because he just like whenever Jamar Chase gets double covered, you can't. Once he's one-on-one, it's so hard to stop him. But they're going to need some big plays to keep up with that offense, and I think Chase is capable of some big plays because he has the most receiving yards ever in one season for a rookie, most receiving yards in postseason and receiving and regular season in one season by a rookie of all time. So he's going to make some plays, and it's going to be a great battle to watch.
It certainly is. But I think it's a critical matchup that he doesn't have to make all the plays.
No.
But he's got to make a few big ones for sure. Okay, next question, Birdie.
1.
Who will play better at quarterback, Burrow or Stafford?
Okay, that's kind of a double-loaded question because
I think it's easy.
Well, you got to take into fact here the pressure that they're going to be under in this game, and I think that Burrow's going to be under a lot more pressure from the rush than Stafford will be. So the thing that worries me about Stafford is he has a tendency to throw a bad ball in these games. You saw it in the 49er game, the ball that was dropped by that defensive back, and he had an interception earlier. But I don't know. That one's tough to Tough to call, Riley.
Oh my God, Matthew Stafford. I've been rolling with him ever since he traded for him.
He's going to outperform Burrow.
Yeah, he's been. I think honestly, quietly, he's been arguably. I don't know if I make the argument. He's been the best quarterback in the playoffs this year so far. He coming into the playoffs. We all said, oh, he hasn't looked that great this year. He had some spot issues against good teams. Didn't play that well. Again, in the playoffs, the Bucs game, he had a phenomenal game. He was lights out, made every single throw. The 49ers, sure, that deep ball was a little shaky, but he's been so good for them and putting them in winning positions. So I'm gonna say Stafford. Burrow, I don't know. I don't know if the lights gonna be too big, but it's just it's gonna be rough. But T. Higgins is 60-1 to win the MVP.
Really,
60-1.
Listen,
Higgins and
I'm gonna make this real easy for you, bro. Joe Burrow is gonna dominate the stats column in this game at full quarterback.
if they can keep the pass rush away from you, I'm not disagreeing with that. But the pass rush is the key.
They got to get the ball out of his hands in
That's
like a
what
couple
I
of
mean.
seconds. It's going to be tough for Chase to go deep. They got to give it to him. Boom, 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 because he's not going to have any amount of time.
I think the smartest football guy in America is that old quarterback from Don Olinsky, who's on all the ESPN shows.
Pretty
okay,
good, yes.
And they went back in time, and he says, if you give blah 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 this, Joe Burrow's going to get him to the Super Bowl. And he did. Now he sounds like a prophet. He told me, expect to see 9 screens in the first half.
Yeah, I believe it.
To do it. I
But
expect to see that.
But again, the same thing. The 49er, I mean, the Rams defensive coordinator is really good.
Rasheed Morris.
He's really good. So they're going to know what they're going to play against. So, and screens are tough to stop, but they're going to be ready for that as well because they know that they're defensive line and they know all these things. But it's going to be tough for Burrow, and I do expect the screens. I think that's the best way to get Chase's ball, his hands on the ball. Another great way is running those end arounds where they go all the way around. They've done it a couple times this year, and that's very smart. You just tap it to him when he comes back around, or the jet sweep when he comes around, just tap it to him like that. But Burrow's going to have to make some big throws, and it's going to be under pressure, so it's going to be tough.
Yeah. So you're saying Stafford or Burrow?
I got to stick with Stafford
Okay.
because of the pressure Burrow.
You're betting on the Rams.
Yes, because I believe the offensive line's a problem, and I believe one thing we haven't talked about is the experience that the Rams have of Super Bowl playoff experience.
Yes.
The Bengals don't have any from what you've
Except
got.
this
Von
year,
Miller,
yes.
you've got, and a lot of that defense that played in the Super Bowl against Tom Brady a couple of years ago.
A lot of the offense, too. A lot of the offense.
So I mean that you got to factor some of that in.
Next question, next number. We got 1, 3, and 7 gone.
4.
Can the Bengals offensive line and offensive coordinator do something scheme-wise to slow the Rams defensive line domination, slow down the Rams defensive line domination? We kind of just talked about that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a focus. I think they will. I think they'll change tempo. They may go to no huddle.
They're going to have to do something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I think they're going to do something differently.
Now, what's
do
the tight end that was injured?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he's going to be playing.
That's going to be a big loss because he's a big key to them as far as blocking wise too. If he doesn't get to play in that game.
Well, one thing they have to do is double team Donald because if you don't, he's coming in every single play. So Donald's getting double teamed. I think on the side of Miller or Floyd, whoever is playing over there, chip him. Put a tight end over there before he runs his route. Just give him a little hit. Put the running back on that side.
Joe Mixon's going to have a tough game.
And just tell those 2 offensive linemen who are watching Aaron Donald, do not let this guy in. And the other guys, Mixon, whoever the other tight end is, they'll be chipping on that side. And we'll just worry about Donald. And they're going to have to do that almost every single play.
And I think Burrow's going to have to I'll pull a few rabbits out of his hat like he did.
For sure.
Tennessee game.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, next question.
5.
Will a home field advantage help or hurt the Rams? Let me answer this first.
I think
100% hurt them.
as far as
Just
well, there's another angle to this though too.
You're in LA.
Yep.
You got every celebrity calling you for shit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
All right. You got your family coming there. You got your sister-in-law that you don't like. You got your brother-in-law that you don't like.
But that's both teams too. The Bengals are getting an equal amount of tickets for this, aren't they? That the people that they have to.
Yeah, but being home, you get extras. But I told you about the road bubble, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but when you're on the road, Brady, you know this. Before you get on the plane,
No, I understand.
You put your ticket request in. You put everything in, and then you leave it behind.
No, if it's that easy, you could be right, but I don't know if it's that easy.
I'm telling you, standard operating procedure for the Super Bowl is if you're a visiting team, before you get on that plane to go to where you're going.
So
I guarantee you, the Rams do not let they pull their team out of their houses for the last 4 or 5 days.
So
I guarantee you, they do that.
The Rams are at home. They might be a little bit better accustomed to this hype and this circumstance than the Bengals coming into the Hollywood area.
LA is a circus.
That's what I'm saying.
Traffic is going to be fucking crazy. Oh. If I am the coach of the Rams, I got them out in some hotel,
I would hope so.
Some town 45 minutes away. Okay. 4 or 5 games before the game, lock in. Well, should be interesting to see what they do.
We've seen a lot of crazy stuff happen leading up to the week of the Super Bowl with players.
Do the Rams really have a home field advantage? They did against the 49ers.
No.
No, but just being where you know is better than being where you don't know. Like, if they were just going to the Viking Stadium, like, sure, they played there a couple of times, but, like, being in LA, they know where everything is. They're accustomed to their locker room. They're accustomed to this. Sure, the fans are not going to be
They might not even have access to their locker room because they're not the home team.
Yeah, but
there's been big arguments about this before. They might not even have. I'm telling you right now, they might not even have access to the locker room.
There's some different angles to this. I mean, it's tough to say.
I like the road bubble.
It's going to be affected either way.
I like the road bubble
if it's maintained. Yes, if it's maintained. But like I said, you've seen guys do crazy stuff during.
No, I'm not worried about them going out. I'm not worried about them. I'm not worried about going out. I'm not worried about that. I'm just saying the focus and concentration. Okay, if you are in your home city and people can't get you, they will fucking torture you.
No,
okay, they will. Friends will come out of the woodwork. Hustlers, gypsies, thieves, all of it.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with that from that point of view. No.
Okay, so we got blah blah blah. What do we have now? Which player other than QBs will be the talk of the game when it's over?
Well, you might have hit on one. You just said Jaylen Ramsey's going to be a big focal point of this game in that matchup. So
I like McPherson, the kicker, and I like the third option for the Bengals, which is
Boyd.
Let's go over something that doesn't get talked about a lot, and it costs some teams the Super Bowl that are watching right now, which would be special teams. So the kicker for the Bengals is an obvious weapon. Although this kicker for the Rams was a Pro Bowl kicker, and I believe this guy punted this guy for the Rams. Hecker, it might be the best punter in the.
I believe so.
He's an unbelievable weapon that nobody's really discussed yet. So that's just something to keep an eye on. Special teams, 1 or 2 screwed plays like we saw with the Packers, and that's why they're sitting home watching this game. So
to me, the man who won, I think maybe one of the only players in the whole entire Super Bowl that's already won one. Von Miller, who was the MVP the last time he played in the Super Bowl, who always comes alive in the playoffs.
I like it.
He's one of the highest sackers in the playoffs history.
I like it. Maybe strip sack.
Yeah, exactly. He did it against Brady. He did it. He was rushing Garoppolo. He knows how to win. So to me, I know it's obvious he's my favorite player, but having Donald double team.
He's your favorite football player ever.
Yeah, no question.
Okay.
Yes, and to having Donald double team and leaving him or Floyd. I'm not saying him. I'm just saying the guy opposite of Donald. I think that's the guy. Whoever makes the play, it could be Von Miller, could be Floyd, could be the backup. Whoever keeps making those plays, that's my pick to win MVP. I'm leaning towards Miller because he's going to be in there the most. He's been experienced. I just think that dynamic of the defensive line versus the offensive line is going to be talked about the most after the game.
See,
that'd be the storyline. I think that's. If I had to bet my last dollar, I would think that would be the storyline.
Because I think Donald's just gonna. To me, I said it before. To me, he's the best player in football. The way he plays, no matter what position is, he just affects every single play, no matter how you do it. If you 1-on-1, he's getting through. If you double team him, that's 2 guys against 1, and he still almost gets through almost every time. So they're gonna have to do something to stop him. And then they have just all these weapons on defensive line.
Don't underestimate this coaching staff
I'm not.
in Cincinnati.
I'm not.
That's all I'm saying.
But it could go the other way. They could completely black him out of the game, and Donald could do nothing, and that could be the storyline. How great the offensive line played. I just think it's going to go either one way or the other.
No, I think. Like again, if I bet my last $10, I think the storyline is what you said. I mean, the Rams do it to everybody. Why would they do it to Cincinnati, which has struggled with that already? Birdie, any thoughts on that?
Well, I think the Rams are going to try to come out and try to establish the run in this game. They've been trying to run the ball first before they pass it.
Nixon's a tough motherfucker, man.
And
he's awesome. I love him.
That's a tough matchup for him. The Rams have not given up. I was looking at a stat on Mixon to try to his under-over rushing yardage is, I think, around 62.5 in this game. But I saw something on one of these sports betting channels that the Rams in the last 88 carries have not given up a rushing play by any back. Of only 3 have gone more than 15 yards or more in the last 88
That's crazy.
So that's going to be where he can hurt them, though, is in the screen game. He's got a favorable matchup against the Rams as a linebacker.
Sure.
So.
If they catch him in pursuit, if they do that play where there's movement in the backfield, I agree.
I would attack the Rams with Mixon out of the backfield.
Okay. Next question. Number 6. Rate the top 5 quarterbacks left in the NFL, Riley.
Rodgers is number 1.
Rodgers is number 1.
And then Mahomes number 2, probably number 1. But I just put Rodgers being there for so long, seeing everything ahead of him for now. And then number 3, it would be Deshaun Watson, but he doesn't play, so I'm not going to put him in there.
Over Josh Allen?
Yeah, I love Deshaun Watson.
I don't think so.
Number 3 would be Josh Allen.
Yeah.
This is where it gets rough.
You're looking at a couple of them
number
in this
4,
game, probably.
Yeah, but I think it's too early to put Burrow up there. I love Burrow. To me, he'd be like 6, 7. I just think I think Russell Wilson. I really think love his experience and how he's just a winner. If you look at his numbers, he literally just wins. This is his first year ever as a starter and a losing record. Like, that blows my mind to think about. He's the first year ever as a losing record. So I'd probably have Wilson like 1 spot ahead of Burrow. I know he didn't have a great year, but experience-wise, so Herbert maybe going up there, Dak up there, but
I wouldn't put Dak Prescott in the top 5.
I think he's not underrated, but he just gets too much hate in my opinion.
I need your top 5, and I need you to finish your
So
top.
Rodgers, Mahomes, Allen, Watson, because if he's playing, Watson for me is top 5. So I'd put Watson at 4, 3, but we haven't seen him play. So Watson at 4, and then 5. Sure, give me Joe Burrow. That's fine.
Ready?
I can't argue with it. No, Rodgers, Mahomes, Allen.
I'm not putting Watson on there because I think he's an unknown variable, and if there's criminal charges that get brought like the talk, I don't think he's ever going to play again.
Okay.
No, but if he did play this year, to me he would be top 3.
I know that.
Trey, Allen. I like the kid from the Chargers.
I'm going with Josh Allen, number 1.
Wow.
Pat Mahomes, number 2. Aaron Rodgers, 3. Joe Burrow, 4. Matt Stafford. No.
You're not going to get no argument on any of that, Mike.
The only question I have is why Allen at number 1. I know it's because he had a great playoffs, but he's never ahead of those guys. The only way I can't put him is in the playoffs. Sure, he's looked good, but as far as he's got is the AFC Championship game.
I'm going to answer your question.
Yes.
Because he's hungry. And I'm not sure how hungry Rodgers and Mahomes are today. And I think he's chasing something. And I think that they believe in his team. The story coming out of the Pro Bowl was how the Bills, all the Bills that went, they were recruiting fucking free agents like crazy, like saying, you got to come up to the summer. They rented a summer house, I guess, and whatever. I mean, I'm thinking this, right?
That's a good sign.
I'm thinking natural skills. I think very hard to beat Allen. Now you put his feet and toughness into the equation. Okay. I think I'm a big the guy that's chasing it usually stays hungry and fit, focused. I think Mahomes has had his day. I think Rodgers has had his day. I like Allen just because he hasn't had it yet.
I'm not disagreeing with anything you said. The only thing I would do if I was that coach of Buffalo, though, I would try to get him to start sliding a little bit when he runs the ball because it's going to catch up with you at some point.
Sure.
So.
The only problem I have with him is that the playoffs. It's just I want him to go further. I want his team to do better. Sure, he looked great against the Chiefs, but all that matters is that they lost and they didn't keep moving on. That's all.
Yeah. He wasn't the reason of the
No.
Yeah, but you're right. It's a results-based business here. Okay, the most difficult question of the night, and I'm going to give all of you a minute.
Uh-oh.
The Mount Rushmore of the National Football League.
I don't think that's hard.
As far as
For me, there's 3 guarantees that have to be on there.
no, as far as
The Mount Rushmore. I mean, what don't you get?
oh, you mean the top 3 or 4 players?
Mount Rushmore has 4 faces.
Okay.
It's a sports game that everybody plays.
Yeah.
To me, there's 3 that have to be on there.
Just write your list.
Brady?
Write your list and let us know.
I'm done. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Tell me, you're ready.
Brady.
Yeah.
Jerry Rice.
Yeah, I got him.
Lawrence Taylor.
I got him too.
And Vince Lombardi. I wanted to put Belichick, and I really did. I think he's the greatest coach of all time. I just think Vince Lombardi has to be there because he was like the first dynasty, and
That's fucking crazy.
and the name of the trophy is named after him. That's why I put him in there.
For now.
I think it should stay, and I love the argument for Belichick. Not love it, but I hear the argument for Belichick. But that's my 4, and I think it's very hard to replace a lot of those guys.
Well, the top 3 are
My prediction is going to be the Tom Brady trophy. That's my prediction. That's my prediction.
Anybody catching gonna beat 7 Super Bowls? That's for sure.
Wow. That's right, man. Riley, I'll tell you what. You and I have the top 3.
There's no way no one can
the
argue.
top 3
Brady
are
has to be there.
automatic.
Brady has to be there, and I believe Jerry Rice has to be there.
I had Mean Joe Green.
Ahead of who though? That's the only question. Because Brady and Jerry Rice
as the last one.
Yeah, ahead of who? Like who you take Lombardi out?
Yeah, but I'm not saying that. I don't agree with you. It wouldn't be Lombardi. It would be.
Because Brady and Rice for me have to be there because they're the 2. The reason why I put Lawrence.
Maybe Walter Payton.
That's the 4th one is like splitting hairs. You could
Yeah.
a list of guys in there. The top 3 are automatic, and
Yeah,
the
those
4th
have to be
one
automatic.
Is going to be mix and match. Peyton, Mean Joe Green. There could be a number of players you could put in there besides that.
You can put Peyton Manning.
Yeah, you could. You could. You wouldn't. You're not going to go wrong with any of those guys as your fourth pick in that.
How about the Mount Rushmore of quarterbacks?
Brady, Montana.
Peyton Manning's in there.
Brady, Montana.
Maybe Bradshaw.
Yeah.
Those are the top 4 I can think of.
For me, it'd be Brady.
Aikman's postseason numbers are insane.
Yes.
I don't think Aikman's ever thrown a pick in the postseason.
His accuracy might be the best out of anybody in the postseason. It's off the chart.
Quarterbacks for me is Brady, Montana, Manning, and Rodgers. For me, for quarterbacks.
No Breeze?
No, I think it's
with those
no,
guys.
no.
Maybe the next level.
Okay, to wrap this show up, we're going to buy and sell in the NFL. Are you ready for this? Are you buying Bill Belichick winning another Super Bowl?
Well, you got 200
I sell. What do you got? What do you got for me?
right now. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't bet against it.
So you're buying and selling. You're buying, he's going to win another Super Bowl, right?
not with
Yes, I wouldn't put it against him. No.
the reason I'm selling is what you mentioned earlier. The Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen. Though that's going to be the biggest roadblock right now.
Sure. All right, buying and selling Josh McDaniel as coach of the Raiders. I'm buying it. I don't think you two are. Tell me why.
Well, I'll give you a couple of reasons why.
All right.
The biggest reason why is that when the players heard about it, they said they were disappointed in it. So that's you're off to a
terrible
bad
start.
because they liked the guy Basacci that was there.
Yeah, as I did.
That's not. I mean, the management is going to have the final say, but that's not a good look going in there. And then you got the history of McDaniels as not doing well in Denver, and then the fiasco in Indianapolis. But I'm not buying into it just yet.
I'm selling it for certain reasons, and I think when the players say they don't want you, that's a terrible start because the players are playing for you pretty much, and he's earned a second chance as a head coach. Will he be good? I don't know, and I think that's a bad team to go to for the reason you just said, and it's a lot of diversity to go around.
Buying or selling Aaron Rodgers staying in Green Bay.
I've been saying he's been leaving, so I guess I'm going to have to stick to it. the reports are he just purchased some land and a home in Nashville, Tennessee.
Yes,
so, is every other athlete
And,
looking to get laid.
the Titans said they're not. The Titans said they are not pursuing Aaron Rodgers.
Well, I would be after what I saw. What's his name?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that they're pursuing him. They could be pursuing someone else, but they might not have enough room to bring him in, trade enough away. I don't think he's staying. Green Bay wants to do all they can to keep him. They already said that's their number one option is to keep him. They want to keep him no matter what. But he does not want to stay. They have the second least amount of cap space in the whole league.
Well, but what? I don't think he's going to go to Tennessee either, right? But buying land there, they usually say follow the money, right? Where you're going to go, right? Now, but if you were my grandma, why wouldn't you fucking beg Aaron Rodgers to come for you, right?
I would think so. That team's almost handmade, except for the quarterback to win. I mean, you saw how that defense did to Burrow. They sacked him 9 times. I mean, Henry, he come back. That's his first game back after the injury, but they've got studs all over the place on that team, and they're just a quarterback away from the Super Bowl, I think. So
buying and selling him, saying to me, what are you doing?
I think he's gone. I think he leaves Green
So you're
Bay.
selling?
I've been saying it, yeah.
Sell. I'm buying he stays there.
Oh.
Buying and selling, Tom Brady staying retired. I'm selling.
I was thinking about that.
Quarterback gets injured early for the 49ers. Tom Brady bails his home team out and wins the Super Bowl.
I don't know. The age factor is going to come into play.
Oh, yeah. I know. I hear the cliff.
No, but I didn't say the cliff. I just said the age. I didn't say the cliff.
But isn't the cliff a pseudonym for the age?
Well, according to Max Kellerman, it is.
Sure.
But I'm not going to say
Hey,
that.
I wonder what happened with the breakup with him and Stephen A. Smith. I wonder how that went down.
Well, didn't hear the whole story about the Jaylen Rose episode either, but that kind of got swept under the rug. Who knows?
Buying and selling, Brady staying retired?
Buying. I think the retirement speech and everything he did was good, and I feel like he meant it. I didn't feel like he was like half-assing it or nothing.
Yeah.
Where is he now? Where was that?
I don't know, but I wish I was on that fucking yacht.
He's down in Brazil, right?
No, what?
Is he down, was that in Brazil? I guess.
I heard English accents in the back.
Okay, so
You do like applaud. Buying or selling the Bills winning the Super Bowl in the next 4 years.
I hope so for those poor fans up there.
Buying and selling.
After what I saw this year, if they get, like you said, some free agents, I'll buy it.
Yeah, I'll buy it. They're young enough.
I'm gonna buy it. So hey, we finally agreed on something. That's good. I'm buying that. I like that play. I may start rooting for the Bills next year, actually.
Fans.
Buying and selling. The Steelers making the playoffs without Big Ben.
All depends on if they bring somebody in for quarterback, or if are they going to go with.
I think they're rocking with Rudolph and the other guy that they have. That they said that those are the two guys there.
2 words, bad move.
Yeah,
selling.
I think so.
I'm selling. Unless they make a big move.
Dwayne Haskins, that's the guy with.
Yeah.
Buying or selling Bill O'Brien coming back to the Pats as offensive coordinator and maybe head coach and wait.
See, this is a little tricky now because you're hearing a lot of different names there. I think he's probably the best fit from the names I've heard.
Yeah.
But I'm not really. I don't know.
He was so bad,
He
though.
ruined the Houston team.
Yeah.
We know that.
But I don't understand what he ruined. They had a lot of success
Mike,
with that, man.
he traded DeAndre Hopkins
For a bag
away
of peanuts.
for almost nothing. Then
Trade
there
away
was some
J.J.
other-
Watt.
I mean, they made the trade.
Yeah.
He was a general manager. They made the Tunzel trade from Miami, which they gave up a ton of draft capital. They're going to be saddled for the next few years in the draft. Also,
He just wasn't like he looked good with the Texans for a little bit, and then it was just all downhill.
A couple of names I heard for that offensive coordinator. I don't believe this is true. I mean, Matt Patricia was a defensive coordinator. Why was his name even mentioned as an offensive coordinator? I just like. You got to be kidding me.
Because Belichick's that fucking arrogant.
I was lost on that one. I'm like, oh, whatever.
Buying and selling Bill O'Brien.
Oh, I'm selling him.
I'm going to buy it.
No.
Buying or selling Mahomes winning 2 more Super Bowls.
It's hard to say because of what we've talked about so many times with the contract situation.
Sure as hell hope not.
For free agents. So his talent levels there, what they're going to have around him as far as Kelsey getting up in age.
It takes a lot to get there, and then you're going to still win it.
Yeah, that's.
If there was one player in the league for me to bet on to say this guy's going to win 2 more Super Bowls before he retires, it'd be him. I don't put it past anybody else, and I get the contract situation, but what I've seen from him is just I honestly never seen it before, and how he just makes those throws. But to go to win 2 more is rough. That's really hard.
Yeah, of course. I would go with Josh Allen because I think he's got a better team around him.
I agree. 100%.
But for Josh Allen to
100%.
win, what do you think is more likely? Josh Allen to win, I think for Josh Allen to win 1 in Buffalo is a success. Just to win 1.
Oh, shit.
Never mind 2. 2 would be really hard.
I think
Mahomes is already at 1.
I think the Bills are going to be knocking on the door for 3, 4, 5, 6 years.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Especially here, because I always said to Birdie, I said, this team looks like they like one another.
Yeah,
right?
you have to have that team
supposedly, I
chemistry.
watched something on Pro Bowl. They were all hanging out together. They were recruiting. They were talking to someone. They were texting NFL guys, come up to this when they're having a party up there. Like, you know.
It goes a long way.
Hell yeah.
The thing that worries me about the Mahomes situation and winning another one is next year is like they really could next year because Kelsey's getting up there, but we're not like 2 years from now. Like we're not going to jump 2 years. We're only jumping a couple like few months, but sure, Kelsey's going to start slowing down. But next year they're going to be ready in a position to win again. But the year after that is when it's going to start hurting because that's when the contract's really going to start kicking in. So if he wins one next year, then he's still got 15 years to win one. So I'm going to sell it because 3 is a lot of Super Bowls because only how many quarterbacks have more than 3? 2, 3?
Not many.
There's not many.
Yeah.
Okay, last question. So you're selling, I'm selling.
Yeah, I'm going to have to sell that too because of the team around.
Buying or selling the Pro Bowl as it is today. Sell
all day
day.
long. Yes.
Sell.
That's the best I got. BadCatz.
Wait, trivia.
I know we got trivia. I was getting them ready for rock and roll.
Do you want a couple of prop bets?
But you know what I want? I want a bag full of fucking 50s and 2 fucking hot chicks.
I might be able to help you out one of these days.
Okay.
I don't know we'll see.
I want a bag full of 50s.
I can get you the bag full of 50s, but... Okay, prop bets. I got a couple of them here. Unfortunately, the William Hill book doesn't have one of these on there, so... The 2-point conversion attempt.
Awesome.
Just an attempt in the game. It wasn't available at William Hill. But listen to me. If you're going to spend any amount of money on prop bets with any serious amount of ability, and you can parlay them, do yourself a favor. Take the hour's drive and drive down to Connecticut because you can parlay prop bets down there, and you have more of a selection of prop bets down there. Over here, you're not going to be able to get this one. A 2-point conversion attempt in the game was at plus 120, so I would bet that. Total interceptions for the game was at 1.5. Stafford's capable of throwing one. We've seen him make
I bet the over on that.
I'm going to lay,
I like the under.
lay 130. Joe Burrow's going to be under pressure in this game. He might
bet
throw
the
a pick
over on
also.
that.
And the last one was a yards for the longest touchdown drive. The under-over was 79.5. I was going to make at minus 115 either side. I was going to make a small play on the under. So those are
I do like the under as well.
Those are the 3 prop bets I have.
It's trivia.
Trivia.
I feel you, dog.
Okay, trivia.
I ain't barking, big dog. I am starving, bro. Where we going to eat?
Good question. We might be going right next door over
You
here.
want to go to
Sit-
Twins?
Sit down if there's nobody in there, yeah. Okay, last night I watched, there were 2 things on. I had no idea these were going to be on.
You hungry, Riley?
I did not. Your guy, Tom Brady, the
boy.
man in the arena.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was going to be shown last night. I did catch that, and it was unbelievable. It's going to be 9 parts, so I hope I can see all the parts as they go along. Then they had the 30 for 30, which I had no knowledge of, on the tuck rule.
Now, the Woodson didn't play together there, did they?
At Michigan?
Yeah.
That I don't know. No, it may have been different time
You
frames.
can tell that they were friends, though.
Yeah, they had a good relationship. I didn't see the whole... but what struck me about the first part of that man in the arena thing was, I always like to see a story about a human interest story,
of course.
as you.
Yeah.
And we all love Tom Brady. We all know he's the GOAT. But if you watch that, what happened with Drew Bledsoe, that whole series of events, emotionally, mentally, what he had to go through in that whole process of losing. He had just signed a contract, the largest in NFL history.
Sure, yeah.
And to lose your job, and then after like about 4 or 5 weeks, then watching it unfold, and realizing you might not be getting that job back.
No.
And the fact that he was lucky enough to come in the championship game when Brady got hurt, just otherwise he wouldn't have played for the whole rest of that season. So what caught my attention was at the end of that, it said that Drew Bledsoe, he was so emotionally beat down because of that whole thing, and he held up through the season.
Yeah.
He went somewhere to Wyoming or Miami after the season ended, got up on a ski lift and somewhere, and he just completely, it all came out all at once. It just,
Sure.
he tried to hold it in the whole time. I found that fascinating.
Yeah, like we talk about what they do in the pros, right? In the record, he's the highest paid quarterback ever. But it's a journey that starts when you're 4 or 5 years old, Birdie.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I understand.
And this is all you know, right?
Yes. No, yeah,
He
that's
seems
a
to
very
be at
good
peace
point.
today
Yes.
with his wine and all that stuff. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, because he was here.
Yes, he was at the top of the mountain.
I mean, Tom Brady took Super Bowls from him potentially. Tom Brady took Hall of Fame from him potentially.
His life, his whole.
Sports isn't written by Walt Disney stories. They don't care about the stories. They don't care about your feelings. It's crazy. But
He gave a lot of praise to Tom Brady too, because when they asked him about it, he said, Tom Brady, he said, I showed him everything. He was so eager to learn. He goes, at first, I just thought he was just like some kid, like a kid, and you just try to. But at the end, he said, when Tom Brady took the job, he said he was always supportive of him. He said it was hard for him to do that. And he said the reason why was because Tom Brady was always, so respectful, and he loved him so much. And he said the biggest reason why, he said, if it would have been anybody else that would have treated him like an asshole, he said he wouldn't have done it, but he couldn't do that to Tom Brady because the relationship that they had.
Professional athletes wrong for saying no, they're not going to train there. What could be replacement?
I mean, think about it though, Mike. There's been a lot of guys like the Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers relationship. I don't think that was that great.
No. A lot of NFL fans said, "Fuck you, I'm not training him."
That's what I'm saying. So that was a fascinating aspect to it. So anyway, I'm going to tie this into the trivia. I got two trivia questions right now. Okay. So we're going to tie the tuck rule game into the trivia question tonight. During that tuck rule game, it was in sort of a blizzard, the snow. I believe that was the last game that was played at the old stadium too, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway.
I have no emotional attachment to that dump anyway.
I believe it.
I mean, the new one's nice. The old one was awful.
No. So the tuck rule game, Riley, this might predate you a little bit. In that game, affiliated with that game, there were 6 players or 6 people affiliated. Affiliated is the word. Yeah. With the Oakland Raiders, 2 with the New England Patriots that are in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I'll give you a hint right now.
Charles Woodson.
Hang on. So you're going first, and Charles Woodson is correct. That's
Al Davis.
That's very good because I didn't think nobody would get that.
Yeah.
Very good. Al Davis is 2.
Yeah.
Riley, you got 4 more from the Raiders and 2 for the Patriots. And I'll give you a hint. Willie McGinnis is not in the Hall of Fame.
Ty Law.
That is correct for the Patriots.
Tom Brady. Oh, he's not in the Hall of Fame
yet.
Not yet. 5 years. 4 years.
Okay.
This guy was a former Patriot player who was a scout during this game for the Patriots. A well-known Patriot player that played during the Steve Grogan era.
I'm going to go back to the Raiders, okay?
Okay, there's 4 more for the
Bill
Raiders.
Romanowski?
No, because he wasn't with the Raiders in that game. Or either that or he's not in the Hall of Fame.
He's got to be in the Hall of Fame.
He's not on the list, Mike.
All right. Got it.
One of them. All right, I'll give you some hints here. One of these guys.
John Hanna from Jimmy Hilario, mailing it in.
He didn't play in that game though.
But you said it was
no scout. Yeah, as a scout. No. The scout was a defensive player from the Steve Grogan era. He also had. I'm trying to.
Teddy Bruschi?
No, I know who it is. The middle linebacker, Andre Tippett.
Bingo. That is correct. Yep. As a scout. Yep. So you have 4 players on the Oakland Raiders. One of these guys was mentioned earlier today as a Hall of Fame player. What was the thing we just did? The
Jerry Rice?
Oh, Jerry Rice was.
Jerry Rice was the Raiders.
Yeah, wow.
Who was the other receiver with Jerry Rice? Tim Brown. Who was
one more?
No, there's 2 more. That were assistant coaches with the Raiders that are in the Hall of Fame.
They're now assistant coaches?
No, not now, but they were for that game.
Oh, okay. Yep. Okay.
Ooh.
One might have been a Super Bowl MVP. I think he had 2 or 3 receptions in one of the Super Bowls with the Raiders.
Receptions?
Interceptions.
Interception.
Might have been during the Jaworski Super Bowl in 1980. I'm not 100% sure. The other guy.
Mike.
No, that's.
Yes, I know it.
The other guy was the other receiver opposite.
He played for the Patriots for a little while.
I don't
Biletnikoff
know.
was one of them?
That is correct. Fred Biletnikoff was an assistant coach. The last one?
Yeah.
Defensive back Willie Brown. For the
okay.
That's KC Chief. That's him. When he picks off
That
against
is
the
correct.
Chiefs. Yeah.
And one last trivia question. We talked about Drew Bledsoe. Drew Bledsoe holds what 2 NFL records that still stand to this day? Any guesses? One of these records he's tied with Jared Goff.
Most interceptions in a season.
Incorrect.
Longest touchdown pass?
Incorrect. During one of the games, he completed 45 passes out of 70 attempts, and both records still stand.
So most
Most completions.
Now, is Bledsoe even close to having horse numbers?
No.
I don't know, Mike.
He didn't play at the top for
You
long
said
enough.
no before, so I've never really talked about
Because
it.
I just feel like he wasn't he was great with the Patriots for that short amount of time, but it wasn't long enough for the whole time. You know what I
Jimmy
mean?
knew that. Wow, that was good.
He said attempts and completions
Jimmy,
in a game.
that's correct. You're a Patriot guy. You would have known that.
Yeah.
Get ready to bring the smoke, Jimmy. Tomorrow, it is the Hurricane, it is Rowdy Riley, and it is the Birdman. This is BadCatz Sports. We're out. Peace.